Let's see here, and we're live. Awesome. So let's see if it comes up on YouTube here. Yep. Awesome. So we'll give everybody a few seconds to roll in here, but it looks like we're live. So welcome back to Dapp University. So a lot of big news to talk about today, a lot to talk about in the cryptocurrency markets too. So I'll give everybody a few seconds to roll in here before we really get going. But, Ethereum is looking really strong today. All right, looks like it's trying to break out, test the old all-time highs, and we're going to see if we get rejected or if we're going to break past it and start setting new all-time highs. So I'll tell you what I think here in this live stream today. We've got lots of important news to cover. The Wall Street's bets saga continues, and they have their eyes on crypto, all right, on blockchain. So Elon Musk has an official endorsement of Bitcoin, which we're going to talk about in this video, and also Coinbase making a direct listing to the stock market, why that's bullish for crypto, and then talk about some more institutional adoption of cryptocurrency and blockchain technology. So let's see here. We got some more folks breaking in here. Awesome. Yeah, very cool. All right, so let's get started here. If you're new around here, hey, I'm Gregory. On this channel, I turn you into a blockchain master. So if that's something that you're interested in, then smash that like button down below for the YouTube algorithm and subscribe to this channel. And if you want to become a blockchain master step by step from start to finish, then head on over to dappuniversity.com/bootcamp to get started today. And so this is a brand new format of video. If you've been watching this channel, we're trying this out for a couple weeks. We're on our second week. And if these videos, do well, we'll keep doing these every day, every weekday at 9:30 a.m. Central Time to keep you guys up to date with what's going on in the space right now. So awesome. So let's jump into the first thing that I think most people are excited about. It's what's going on with Ethereum, the cryptocurrency itself right now. As always, not financial advice. I'm not telling you what to buy, when to buy or sell. I'm just going to tell you what I'm personally doing and what I think the outlook is kind of in the short to midterm. So I think Ethereum's looking pretty strong right now. Again, like I'm not a TA guy. I'm not a trader. I'm a long-term buy and hold investor. So part of what I do in these videos is kind of like look at my own investments and tell you how I feel about them personally as someone who's, strongly invested in Ethereum, not just the technology, but also the asset itself. So, as always, not investment advice. I'm just telling you like what I personally see and what I'm feeling right now. So basically, what's going on with Ethereum right now is we had, this historical all-time high of like, $1,400-ish, maybe a little bit more. And that was happening in January 2018 after the big 2017-2018 bull run. And, excuse me, Ethereum, it set that, and we saw a multi-year bear market that lost a ton of its value. We've been going up in this bull run, kind of trying to find that new all-time high, test that old one. We've come in, we've pressed past it, but kind of gotten rejected, pressed past it, got rejected, pressed past it, got rejected, okay? So, again, like I said, I'm not a big TA guy, but I do like to look at big picture things and kind of big picture patterns and where I see this kind of headed. So there's a couple things to know. The chart guys will talk about this being like an ascending wedge. So what you have to understand is what's going on behind that reason. It's not just like a pattern that you just see like a horoscope. But think about the psychology, right? There's resistance here. There's a number, a psychological number, an all-time high that the asset's trying to push past. It gets, it kind of gets close or it touches it. It gets rejected. It doesn't quite make it. It dumps, right? And then it has a low. And then it goes up and tries again and makes a low, goes up, tries again, makes a low, goes up, tries again. But you see the lows are getting higher, right? And this is all happening on a bullish upward trend. It's not like we're going down and then having a short-term move upward where it could dump again. So you have to think about it in terms of probability. Like I said, I'm looking at this and just like checking on my own investments and how I feel about it, but I feel pretty bullish about this. Some people get kind of scared about all-time highs because, they don't like to buy at all-time highs. That's totally understandable, but sometimes you have to understand that like a historical all-time high, once it's broken, can actually be incredibly bullish for an asset because it means it's probably going to enter into price discovery mode, which I think is going to happen with Ethereum after it breaks this all-time high and establishes itself above it. So that's what I would say. So I don't have any I don't have any short-term price predictions for it, but that's how I feel. So that's what's going on with ETH right now. It's got a lot of people excited. as always, is going to bring more eyeballs into the space. Kind of see what's happening here. So Bitcoin looks like it's doing well too. Again, it's all about probabilities. Something could happen in the short term. We could have something happen in the equities markets. I think crypto and equities markets are still somewhat correlated with one another. So I think, if the stock market like nukes tomorrow, crypto's probably going down with it. That's what I would say. But yeah, we'll wait and see. So Bitcoins look like it's trying to, kind of get back up too. So let's talk about Elon Musk this past week. So this, you might have heard the news already, but I wanted to throw my 2 cents on it. We didn't get to cover it in the live stream yesterday. So, Elon Musk has been talking about crypto, been talking about Bitcoin, so specifically on Clubhouse. So if you guys know what Clubhouse is, basically it's a social media app. I haven't personally used it, but I know a lot of people who do use it. And basically it's an audio format where you can, this is my understanding, you can join someone's, Clubhouse room, and it's like spoken words. So you just get to listen to them speak. So if anybody has a better explanation of that, you can put it down in the chat. Like I said, I haven't personally used it, but I kind of get the gist. But Elon Musk tweeted about this, how he wanted to join and do a Clubhouse meeting, and in that he talked about Bitcoin. This was sort of the famous day that he put hashtag Bitcoin in his bio, kind of made a little bit of a cryptic tweet that people think is related to cryptocurrencies. At least that's the word, that's the interpretation that I see flying around. But anyways, in the Clubhouse, he did call Bitcoin a good thing. And you can go find the transcript of what he actually said. I've seen it floating around, but I'm just going to go by what the article is really says here. But, I think Bitcoin is really on the verge of broad acceptance by sort of the conventional finance people. Okay. And he says he doesn't have a strong opinion on other cryptocurrencies. But I think this is really important for Elon, kind of to talk about. And I think it's validation of what we're seeing in the broader space, which is people talking about Bitcoin being more of an institutional grade asset where institutions can buy it, because that's been the big theme of a lot of the adoption of blockchain that's been going on right now. Basically, people saying like Bitcoin have a place on corporate balance sheets and institutional balance sheets as a store of value asset. Okay, and so let's see here. Yeah, so we saw Elon talk about this, and we saw like a big candle printed on Bitcoin the other day. I think this was on Sunday, I want to say. Let's look here. Yeah, we saw this kind of big thing here. Some people say that's, Elon basically pumping Bitcoin and then a dump. I think some people were expecting or hoping that he would basically say that they purchased Bitcoin to put on Tesla's balance sheet, and then when that didn't happen, it just like sent the price down. That's the conjecture, right? Who knows if that's true or not, but that's an interesting thing to think about. So connecting the dots here, institutional adoption of cryptocurrencies is definitely, like I said, the theme of a lot of what's been going on during this big kind of run that we've had going on, right? So the next thing to talk about is the Michael Saylor Bitcoin conference that's coming up pretty soon. Let's just find it. Let me find it. I guess I lost it. Hold on a second. Yeah, I don't have the article in front of me, but I'll give you the highlights right here. So basically, if you don't know who Michael Saylor is, the CEO of MicroStrategy, and he got very famous in the crypto community last summer because he was a big leader in basically buying Bitcoin as a reserve asset for his company. Other companies did this too. Square did this, and we're talking large amounts of Bitcoin. I don't have the number off the top of my head, but it's an insane amount. I think they own something like 70,000 Bitcoin or something like that now. You have to go fact check that. You can get on Google and get on Twitter and see what the numbers are, but it's a pretty large amount. Okay, so they've been talking about this for a while. He's been a leader in this. So why this is so important is people talk about the institutional FOMO, right? So you think about retail FOMO. So what I mean by that, fear of missing out. So when you see a price going up or you see a lot of other people doing the same thing and making money, then that causes this like fear of missing out and where you want to go buy. It's like the Dogecoin pump that happened this past week, where basically like people came in and said like, or they saw Doge going up and said, I want to, chase that pump and get on it, right? That's like institutional FOMO, or sorry, that's retail FOMO. That usually ends badly, right? It's usually just a quick pump and then a dump and then a bubble, right? And a lot of people lose money. But on the other side, like you do have institutional FOMO, which if you see lots of other people starting to come to this realization that, Bitcoin is an institutional grade asset that can be put on corporate balance sheets, and you see these other CEOs doing it, and they're buying it in mass, right? It sort of sets in this fear of missing out. And the old saying is like, nobody wants to be first, nobody wants to be last, right? Well, we had some first movers, and they're, being rewarded. People who were buying Bitcoin at the $10,000 range last year for the corporate balance sheets are now pretty happy that they've tripled, over tripled that amount. And then you have, basically people who don't want to be the last person to do that, right? So anyways, the Michael Saylor conference is coming up this week. Lots of CEOs are supposed to attend, and people are pretty bullish on that for, more corporate adoption of Bitcoin, because these CEOs have high, influence over one another, and they're the big decision makers. They're the ones who are able to, have a strong influence over where large amounts of money go. So interesting to see, what happens there. So the last kind of big thing to talk about in the news that's been going on is the Coinbase direct listing. So let me see if I can find that. So Coinbase, the cryptocurrency exchange, one of the biggest cryptocurrency exchanges in the U.S., maybe the biggest. I don't know off the top of my head. Is going public through a direct listing. So this is not exactly like an initial public offering. It's different. They're just getting directly listed on the stock market. So they're going to be on the NASDAQ. So this is similar to how I believe Spotify took this same approach whenever they went public. And it's going to be on the NASDAQ. So it's not the New York Stock Exchange. Yep. So we're looking at a multi-billion-dollar valuation here. Let's see here. They say valuation implied just below 70 billion. Yeah, 50 billion, 70. So there's some discrepancy here. I mean, it's hard to say for sure, but this will be really interesting to see what happens here. So this is incredibly good for cryptocurrencies, blockchain technology, all that kind of stuff. Coinbase has been a leader in the space for a long time. It's a big kind of on-ramp, off-ramp. So this is important for, cryptocurrencies, important for DeFi. Because think about it, normal people have to be able to get into DeFi somehow. We still need the on-ramps, off-ramps for people to basically take their dollars and get into the system and be able to use this stuff. And Coinbase is a pretty big on-ramp, off-ramp for a lot of Americans. There's I know a lot of you are not Americans who are watching this YouTube channel, but it's still a pretty big deal. All right, so let's see if we got some questions here in the chat. So what do I think about AAVE? So I don't have any comments on the price of AAVE. I do hold AAVE. So I got into AAVE last year. I haven't bought any more AAVE in a long time. Let's just go to the homepage here. Let's see here. I did buy more ETH recently though, like yesterday, I think. The day before. I wasn't planning on it, but I did. So AAVE, I'm not going to comment much on the price of AAVE. But I don't really, I don't have much of an opinion here. I do think AAVE is a really solid project. I think they're a leader in the space. Like I said, I got into AAVE, the asset itself, my chart's not really working here. I think I got into AAVE when it was like, it was ETH Lend, right, before it was transitioned to AAVE, so I don't have the full price history. It doesn't look like. But back when it was denominated with 1 decimal place less. I think I got into AAVE like at $1, something like that. So it's pretty good. Anyways, AAVE is awesome. So if any of you watching don't know about AAVE, I just realized I was sharing my screen and not showing it. Sorry, everybody. I did that again. I'm still trying to figure out this live stream software. If anybody doesn't know about AAVE, I'll just pull it up. So AAVE is a decentralized liquidity protocol. It's pretty awesome. So AAVE is one of the leaders in the DeFi space. They were building, really early on. They used to be ETH Lend, right? You might still have some Lend tokens if you bought into AAVE and never migrated. That's kind of like my story. But AAVE is a pretty amazing application, and they're like been constantly shipping, constantly making updates. So one of the easiest use cases to understand is savings and lending. Okay, so I've always talked about how competitive savings rates are a killer use case for blockchain technology that the average Joe can understand. And I'm not saying the average Joe needs to just dump all their money into this stuff right now, because it's high risk. There's a risk reward scenario here. You're making some trade-offs. I'm not advocating. It's not financial advice. Not advocating you just convert your dollars in here. But look at this. So you can take a stable coin like USDC, for example, deposit it into AAVE and earn 8% annual interest. That's way better than your bank accounts. Way better than my personal bank account. So I think most people can understand that most people have, well, maybe not most, but a lot of people have bank accounts. They can see what their interest rate is. It's low, it's bad. You can take your money, put it somewhere else without the volatility, and earn a better interest rate. And that's because AAVE is basically works a lot like your bank, where it controls funds, but it's able to do loans on the other side, and that's where the spread comes into play. That's how the protocol itself makes money. But it's governed by a protocol. It's automation involved, and there's less middlemen. There's less fat than would be required in a traditional banking situation, and that's one of the reasons that they're able to offer this competitive interest rate. It's just one of the reasons. Okay, there's a lot more to it than that, but you can see other stable coins like USDT, 17%, right? It dies still at 6.2%. Dies a decentralized stable coin, right? So AAVE is huge. I've been a fan of AAVE for a long time. Like I said, big leader in the DeFi boom, the DeFi revolution. I think we're just seeing the beginnings for AAVE here. But not financial advice. That doesn't necessarily mean the price of AAVE is going to go up or down. So what do I think Ethereum could become with smart contracts and all? So we're still figuring out truly what Ethereum's potential is. I think the most obvious use cases right now are the financial use cases, because finance is a pay-to-play system. Ethereum is a pay-to-play blockchain. Okay, so we saw that initially with cryptocurrencies. We saw initially with ICOs, whenever that was kind of the first big use case for Ethereum, was fundraising, so crowdfunding. Tokens, really issuing your own cryptocurrency on top of Ethereum was, I would say, probably the first use case. And maybe that's not a good explanation, but you get what I'm trying to say here. Tokens, ICOs. So, not all ICOs are bad. Like some of the big DeFi projects we have now had ICOs. And they're still around. The teams are still here. They've shipped. They've delivered amazing products, and those are the ones that we use now. Okay, so so creating tokens. That's one of the cool things about Ethereum is you can create your own cryptocurrency without creating your own blockchain. You can just code your own money and put it on there. You can check out some of the tutorials that are on my YouTube channel. You go to the homepage there. I can show you how to create a cryptocurrency. I'll also do that inside the Blockchain Bootcamp. But so that's the first kind of killer use case, is to issue a cryptocurrency really easily that you can just distribute. Okay, so over the past few years we've been building DeFi, which has been the next really mature way to use Ethereum. Basically, take everything that you can think about doing in the traditional financial markets and do it on blockchain. Okay, so we have to rethink how we solve some of those problems with blockchain, and then sometimes it lets us do things that we can't even do in the traditional financial system, like flash loans, for example. Okay, so I don't even know if you guys know about flash loans. So basically, this is where you can borrow millions of dollars of cryptocurrency with zero money down. You can do trading. You can use it for DeFi. You use it for a lot of stuff, as long as you pay it back in the same transaction. So it's kind of complicated about what that means. I've got some videos on my channel you can check out if you want to learn more about flash loans, how to do them. But you know, that's an example of stuff you can do with Ethereum that you can't really do in the traditional financial system. Okay. So anyways, I think DeFi will be probably a majority of what's happening on Ethereum for the next while. People talking about NFTs being a big hot thing. You know, we're seeing that. I mean, that's a pay-to-play system too. So NFTs, digital art. I don't know if you guys seen the hash masks that have been floating around, kind of a big hot thing. So I think that's probably the beginning of another wave of big wave of kind of activity. Let's see if I can pull that up here actually. Yeah, here we go. So these are the hash masks. So digital art. People have been buying these up like crazy. So, you know, we saw this with CryptoKitties in the 2017 boom. We might see, you know, NFTs become more of a thing, digitally scarce art that you can sell. So this is also pay to play, right? You can buy the NFTs as collectibles and hold on to them. They're digitally rare. So people talk about this kind of being a big deal. I think it's cool. I think DeFi is going to be bigger. That's just my personal opinion. I could be wrong about that, but I think there's such I think the market, the total addressable market of people in finance is way bigger than the total addressable market of art collectors. Whether those be serious art collectors or just, you know, people who like collectibles, like, you know, just, I don't know what you would call it. Just like a individual who likes, like somebody who collects Pokemon cards, for example, like, and they're not like they're not buying like Rembrandt paintings, right? They're just buying Pokemon cards, which can be super valuable, right? But it's a different type of person, right? Typically. So somebody says do something about the ETH fees. So we are doing something about the ETH fees. So go check out the video I published on Friday about layer 2 scaling solutions, which are, you know, literally weeks away from being here. So some of them are already here. They're being used. We just need wider adoption. Go check out how I talk about optimistic rollups in that video. The optimistic virtual machine, optimistic Ethereum, has its mainnet soft launch. I think that one's probably going to win out for a lot of apps. We'll see. But yeah, it's basically here. We just got to plug it in and battle test it and get it to work. Somebody says XDAI. Yeah, there's lots of layer 2 scaling solutions. I'm the most optimistic about. I'm those bullish on optimistic Ethereum. We'll see though. Yep, we'll see. All right, let's see if we got any more. So which mobile Dapp use for ETH? So that's a good question. So it depends on what you want to do. There's lots of mobile dApps out there. I'll put it this way. You probably want an application that can support, you know, multiple ways of doing this. So let me pull up a few examples here. So there are a few different mobile apps that you can use. So you can use MetaMask for mobile, which if you use MetaMask in your browser, is basically the same thing. You can even sync your accounts between the two. So it works like a, you know, cryptocurrency wallet like MetaMask does, but it also has a Dapp browser in the mobile. So any of these websites that you can go to, like, you know, uniswap.com or something, you could visit uniswap.com inside of MetaMask mobile and still interact with it and have your wallet synced to your mobile device and like buy stuff, you know, trade tokens, you know, trade that way, right? So that's one way, is to use the actual Dapp websites that you can use on the internet, but use it on your phone. The other way is basically to use a wallet that has the protocols integrated into it. So I believe the MetaMask mobile app does this, but some other ones are like Argent. Okay. and then also Dharma. Okay. So some of these have like swap capabilities built into them. Some of them have like DeFi capabilities built into them. So like on Argent, for example, all inside your app, you can basically install it. You can, if you have Apple Pay already linked to your phone or Android Pay, you can just, use the existing funding source, buy cryptocurrencies, you'll have them in your wallet basically instantly. You can swap the cryptocurrencies into a decentralized exchange that's plugged in. Is the protocol? It's actually plugged into the user interface here, and then also do DeFi. So if you want to basically earn interest, you can just click some buttons and then do that. You gotta pay the fees and all that kind of stuff. But that's I'm interested to see how this plays out in the long term, because I think these sort of one-stop shop mobile apps are going to be big for DeFi adoption, especially as a lot of the kinks, the fees get worked out, because I think people want to trust, like a lot of consumers just want to trust an application in a big sense, and they just want it to be simple. And that's the beauty of DeFi, is you can build with the protocols, all the backends, they're all open, they're all permissionless. Like I said, for the developers who are out there, I said this the other day in my live stream, like if you know what an API is, like let's say you want to build an app that has a Facebook login, talk to the Facebook API. A lot of times you have to register for, a Facebook app and then get like a key and a secret and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, do that for a DeFi. Like it's just an open protocol. You're not rate limited. I mean, if you are talking to the blockchain with a node as a service, might rate limit you, but like if you run your own node, like you just talk to the blockchain, you can make as many requests as you want to. You don't have to have an API key. You can just, it's pretty awesome, right? It's basically anybody can build a mobile app to talk to DeFi protocols, and these are also non-custodial solutions, which I like a lot. So somebody says ETH is superior because of all the momentum. So I bet people are probably talking about like some of the Ethereum killers out there. So I've been talking about this a lot in the live stream. People talk about, ETH fees are too expensive, ETH's too slow. This other blockchain, fill in the blank, the other protocol does it better. So, the bottom line is these other protocols don't have Ethereum's network effect. If you're going to make a blockchain useful, you have to have other people use it. You have to have liquidity on it if you're going to do DeFi. I'm not saying that Ethereum has a 100% secure lead for forever, right? That's not what I'm saying. Nobody has a crystal ball. A lot could happen over the long term. I think in the short to midterm, though, it's incredibly hard for a quote unquote Ethereum killer to emerge and dethrone its place in terms of market share, users, adoption, all that kind of stuff. That's my personal conviction. So somebody says Cardano will crush them. Well, Cardano's got a lot of work to do in terms of getting, users onto their platform. I'll believe it when I see it. Yeah, I'm also not like an Ethereum maximalist and thinking that none of these other blockchains will necessarily have any use cases or any users. That's not what I'm saying. Everybody talks about how ETH has these massive problems, and that it's never going to work. Blah 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 blah. It's a scam. It's like saying houses are too. I said this the other day on the stream. It's like saying houses are too expensive and nobody's going to buy them. This is a failure to understand basic economics, which is when something's expensive in a supply and demand market, a free market, it means there's a ton of demand, right? These are the factors that could, with the supply being low, all that kind of stuff. But the reason you don't have a high price in a free market without demand, all right? So people want to use Ethereum. It is expensive. It's too expensive for most common people, but there's a lot of people with a lot of money making a lot of money on Ethereum, and that's why its fees are high. All right, see if we got any more questions here. So somebody says, please make project which save every transaction record in our backend in PHP, please. So I'm not a PHP developer, but I can basically give you a really quick overview on how you want to do this. So let me pull up my whiteboard here. Sorry. So if you're going to do this, I can tell you without telling you how to do it in PHP, but basically you would have your backend, and you'd have your basically smart contract. And this could be a smart contract you coded or one that somebody else coded. And basically you would take your backend and you would just query this for all the transactions. You could create an event inside the smart contract that was always logging the activity. You could subscribe to these events. You could pull these events, whatever, and you create some sort of database that just indexes all this activity in your PHP server. You use a library like Web3.js, Ethers.js, something like that. So I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up here for today. As always, smash that like button down below, subscribe to this channel. That really helps these videos out so that more people can learn about blockchain. If you like these live streams, let me know right down in the comment section below. We've been trying these out the past couple weeks. If they stick, we'll keep doing them. If not, we'll just go back to regular programming. But I think they're probably here to stay. People seem to like them a lot. I like being able to answer questions here live on the stream as they come up. I like talking about what's happening in the space because I'm watching it every single day. Like I said, working with this stuff, reading the news, watching the investments too, because I'm an Ethereum investor. So if you're as fascinated with this technology as I am, you want to get your hands dirty today, where can you get started? People ask me this question all the time. I just put out a video on how to become a blockchain developer in 2021. It's pinned to my YouTube homepage, right? That's going to give you the sort of high level overview of the state of the industry in 2021, what you need to know, the programming languages, all that kind of stuff. Check that video out, okay? And then if you want to get your hands dirty with some tutorials, there's a playlist on my YouTube homepage, free blockchain development courses. They're like Udemy courses, but they're totally free. I've got a brand new one coming out really soon, okay? So smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications. You'll see that video when it comes out. All right, if you like those courses and you want to take the next step, or you just want to stop everything you're doing right now, take a massive shortcut, you can head on over to dappuniversity.com/bootcamp to get started today. I've helped people with zero programming experience become real-world blockchain developers. I've helped people who are already developers transition into blockchain. You don't have to be an expert to get started today. So that's all I've got, and until next time, thanks for watching Dapp University.